How Very Darkman was safe in Efcc custody from poison by a female officer. His truth saved his life. May 2, 2025. In the heart of Nigeria, a voice for the voiceless was silenced. Not by law, but by the fear of truth. It was a typical day, one that would go down in history as a pivotal moment in the fight for justice. Martins, known as Very Darkman, entered a GT Bank branch on that fateful day, with a purpose. He was there to address an issue concerning his mother's bank account, one that had been draining her funds without her consent. Little did he know that this would be no ordinary visit, and his life would never be the same. Very Darkman, a prominent Nigerian social media activist, had been an outspoken advocate for the oppressed. His voice was the voice of the voiceless, calling out injustice and corruption at every level of government. His activism had made him a target, and on this day, they planned to take him down. As he entered the bank, a routine errand became a nightmare. Without warning, Efcc agents surrounded him, and his friend who accompanied him was beaten senselessly. Both he and his friend were struck violently, their phones taken, and they were forced to reveal their passwords. Very Darkman had no idea that what started as an ordinary day would become an ordeal that would test his will to survive. The Efcc agents dragged them away, blindfolded, and refused to give any explanation. His friend was released that same evening, but Martins, Very Darkman, remained in custody. The world would later learn that this wasn't an arrest. It was a kidnapping. No arrest warrant was shown, and no charges were presented. But what was the reason for this? What had Martins done to deserve such treatment? The answer lies in a post he had made earlier that day, a post that shook the nation. Very Darkman had shared a video about the National Association of Nigerian Students president, NANS, which claimed that the son of Nigerian President, Seyi Tinubu, was involved in his abduction. The post also alleged that Seyi Tinubu had forced the NANS president to renounce his position as the Aluta president, a position of immense influence among Nigerian students. This accusation sent shockwaves through the political landscape, and Very Darkman had become a direct threat to those in power. Many believe that Seyi Tinubu seized the opportunity to silence Very Darkman before his influence and evidence could further expose corruption. The truth had become a weapon, and those in power were willing to go to extreme lengths to keep it buried. Martin's mother, who was there at the time, watched helplessly as her son was beaten, blindfolded, and whisked away into the dark unknown. She was told nothing, and her cries were met with silence. She had no idea what was happening to her son, and all she could do was hope for the best, even as fear and grief filled her heart. But something miraculous happened during his detention. Inside the Efcc facility, as Martins was subjected to inhumane treatment, forced into a bright room where the lights were so harsh they threatened to erode his sanity, denied sleep and food, and tortured in ways unimaginable, a female Efcc officer made a decision that would save his life. She swapped the poisoned food that was meant to kill him with food that would not harm him. Unknown to Martins, this act of bravery ensured that his fight for truth would continue. This female officer, who saw beyond the corruption and cruelty, risked everything to save a man who spoke out against the very system that detained him. While Very Darkman suffered, the Efcc's actions revealed just how corrupt the system truly was. They wanted him broken, silenced, and erased from the movement for justice. But Martin's resolve didn't waver. He continued to hold on to the truth, knowing that if he was silenced, the fight for justice would be over. He endured the torture not out of fear, but out of love for the people he fought for, those who had no voice in the fight for their rights. After 24 hours of illegal detention, Very Darkman should have been released. No charges had been pressed, no warrants presented, and yet he remained in their custody. His story became a symbol of the injustice he had been fighting against. The world continued to demand his release. Yet, as of May 2025, Very Darkman, the freedom fighter, the voice for the voiceless, still remains locked away by the Efcc. The Nigerian youth have taken to the streets, protesting for his freedom, demanding answers from a government that continues to suppress the truth. His silence may have been forced upon him, but his message will never be silenced. Stay tuned for the next chapter of this courageous freedom fighter's journey.